Hi, my name's Ken Howell. I'm from Fayetteville,
What's up, Ken
North
Howell?
Carolina, and the name of my company is Uncle Zip's Beef Jerky. Now, I'm asking for a $25,000 investment for a 20% partnership in my company. Now, what makes Uncle Zip's Beef Jerky better than any other beef jerky out there is the fresh taste. You see, I don't use any additives, no preservatives. A lot of people, when they have that mass-produced stuff, they say it's tough and they taste that chemical taste, you know, that chemical blah taste.
So I don't eat beef jerky myself, so I don't know what that tastes like, but I can kind of imagine that it probably does fall kind of flat, which may be why my only experiences with beef jerky were not pleasant ones that I wanted to keep having over and over and over again.
Mine is fresh made. Now, I got a sample. You want some? Here you go.
You know, try that Jeff Foxworthy beef jerky.
What did you think of it, Robert?
Well, I loved it, Jeff. How does this compare?
It is really hands down.
Careful now, Ken.
Everybody loves the beef jerky.
What's the story? Is this the best you've ever eaten?
Oh boy.
It's good, very good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Ken, why is it called Uncle Zip?
My father was actually in the Yellow Page sales, and he was really good. He could zip in, zip out with a sale. So Zip stuck. Well, he originally started the beef jerky. He was like, well, you know, we're going to do Zip's beef jerky. I said, yeah. And all of a sudden he goes, yeah, good old Uncle Zip. And I went, oh, that's it. Uncle Zip's beef jerky. So that'd be
Ding,
perfect.
ding.
And now everybody knows me as either Uncle Zip or Jerky Man. Honestly, I can go walking into any store and I'll hear, Jerky Man, hey, Jerky Man, Jerky Man, Jerky Man.
I'll tell you something. This is pretty good.
Thank you.
How does it stay in the package without preservatives, without chemicals? Does it go bad right away?
No, it doesn't go bad right away, but here's the thing. I put about a 2-month shelf life on it.
Isn't that a problem? Doesn't that beef jerky stay on for years on the shelf?
Exactly, and the reason why it does stay on for years is because of those, like I said before, is those chemicals that are in there, and that's all you're tasting.
How much sales have you had in the last year?
Right, well, unfortunately in the last...
You're starting off with unfortunately.
That's a good...
Well, in the last couple, actually the last 7 years, I've been kind of down for the simple fact that I lost my father. I'm almost in a rebuilding stage.
You've been doing this for 7 years?
I've been doing it for right at 10 years now.
What are your sales?
The highest sales, I was right at $100,000. That was right before my dad took ill.
And what
That's a
were
lot
your
of beef
sales
jerky.
last year?
You're probably looking, it was about 40 or 50.
Now, what do you want the $25,000 for, Ken?
The $25,000 is we're going to start out by upgrading the processing facility I already have. That's going to allow us to be able to expand into these larger markets. Once we get in there, we'll have small processing plants. And you're looking to open up one of these, you're looking about $60,000, and that's the...
But Ken, isn't that just crazy? Every time you open up a new region, you need a new processing plant?
I mean, look, shipping shouldn't take weeks. It should, it shouldn't even take months. It should, you make it and then you ship it. Like you should be able to get away with like 3 of them, like one in the middle of America, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. You put it in like Philadelphia or DC, and you got pretty good coverage to the north and south of the on the east side and the west side. I don't know, San Francisco or Nevada, somewhere cheap, somewhere that's going to give you that ability to maybe make it a little bit cheaper. $60,000 actually seems pretty cheap. I mean, this is 2011 money, so I'm not sure, but I would venture to think that, with a 2-month shelf life, you should be able to ship out cases of this stuff and have it land within 5 to 7 business days at the stores. And if you build that market for a fresh beef jerky, or maybe specifically trying to hammer that online model where it's like you're making it and you're selling it right away, that's where I would be trying to focus.
Well, that new region is going to be able to put fresh beef jerky on the shelf that otherwise has been sitting there for a year.
But they don't care if it's been sitting there for a year because, well, I mean, they do because they want it to sell. But but the point being is that if it doesn't sell, they're not throwing it out. It's not wasted.
That's the thing. Nobody knows really fresh beef jerky.
I don't think the problem is going to be having a local processing plant. I don't think your shelf life is long enough.
I mean, maybe there's a way that he could get that shelf life a little longer, to maybe 3 to 6 months without having to use too many. But like, you shouldn't necessarily be buying that much to put on the shelf. Like, oh, I'm buying this case of beef jerky. It's gonna last me a year, because there isn't that big of a market. See, he's trying to build his own niche of fresh beef jerky that doesn't at least at this point, it doesn't really exist when this was filmed. So it's a tough call, but it's always a longer, uphill battle when you're trying to create something that didn't exist before, and you're trying to educate the people and change their perception of how long you can have that beef jerky.
You can't be making a living on this.
Well, I do have a little part-time. I got a carpet business that I do part-time too.
Ken, it's been 10 years, and you're still not making a living doing it. I'm struggling to understand why you're still doing it. Are you still doing it because it's a business? Is this some kind of a tribute to your dad?
Trying to be a therapist there.
It does lean a little bit towards
Can I just say this? I don't quite understand the picture. Like, I guess the mouth is the line there, but I'm not really sure. It looks like it's almost like the beard is below his chin or something. I don't know. And he looks angry.
My dad, and he wanted the business, and we talked many times about wanting to put it on shelves. And I just know I can do it. Just like any business, when they hit that little hump, they just need that little boost of capital to get rolling again. And I really think this right here, partnering up with you guys, one of you, two of you, all of you, I really think that we can get this back on track and get going again.
Ken, we all have a dream, but not only does every dream have a price, every dream has a shelf life, just like your beef jerky.
Right.
This isn't an investable business. I'm out.
Okay.
That's tough.
This is a small business, not an investment. I'm out.
That part always really bothers me, because it's like a default answer of like, well, it's just too small, or it's just too early for me to invest. And it's like, look, 25,000 is not much, right? And if you up the capital a little bit, you got two of you in there, and you ended up putting in 10 grand. Like, it's a chance, right? Because it's a re-education process, and it's probably going to cost a lot more than that. But once people taste it, they know they like it, and it comes with issue, right? Like, look, I like tea, right? I buy fresh tea from time to time, but I don't get to, you're supposed to have that tea within like weeks, or I guess like a couple months of buying it, versus like the tea bags that are good for like ever, basically. But if you buy that fresh tea, like it only stays fresh for so long. It's a re-education process, and it's something that could definitely be built into to carve out its own niche.
I'm going to tell it the way it is. Look, I love the story, I love the past, I love all that stuff, but I'm an investor, all right? What you presented is a small regional brand, a micro brand, really small. It's good, I ate it. It is fresh. That's great. The trouble is, you're not selling that much. I'm out.
I disagree.
Ken only
I
has 2 more
disagree. There's a bigger
chances to make a
picture, bigger
deal.
play there.
All right, Ken, I'm gonna say this. You've got a good product.
Okay.
It tastes fresh, it tastes good. I'm out, but mainly because I'm in the same business.
Right.
But I think you've got something here that you can make a good living on with the right things. I don't think it's big enough yet for other people to come in and invest in it, but your product's good enough that you can make a good living on.
You've made $100,000 in your 3rd year in the business. Okay?
Then you came through years of hardship for one reason or the other. Much more difficult obstacles to overcome than selling beef jerky.
Right.
There's no help you need from anybody to get this back on the road. You've got it in you. I don't think you need us here. You're very capable of getting back on your feet, so I'm out.
All right.
I don't disagree with Barbara there. I think that's true, but I don't think that he shouldn't get the help to, the guidance, the motivator, the fire under his butt to be able to push it further, faster. I don't think it's small regional brand. I think that he's overshooting for the moon to need to open up so many different manufacturing plants and sourcing all the materials and the and where they're gonna get the beef jerky from. Like, I think that's a bit of a push. But I think that I think that he with a little bit of thinking it through, like, he could create this whole big thing and make it into a thing if he really
Thanks, y'all.
really
I
wanted
appreciate
to.
it. We'll see you.
It does break my heart because I don't totally agree.
I'm
with
just gonna
everything
keep
said.
pressing on because I know this will make it. And I know they said that, are you holding on because maybe I am holding on because of my dad. But it's something I love to do too. I'm not gonna quit.
And that is sad to see. Now, what's more sad to see though is that he apparently passed away. Let's say Uncle Zip's Beef Jerky: A Story of Two Fast Friends and a continuing legacy. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he passed away at the age of 45 in May of 2014. So about a little over 3 years after, around 3 years after this episode was filmed. So it's a shame that he passed away and didn't get to fully realize it. Now, with that said, they still sell it. It's still available. Let me see here. Here you go. UncleZipsJerky.com. So they're still selling it. They're still pushing forward. You should totally, if you're into the whole beef jerky thing, you should definitely give it a try. Go over to UncleZipsJerky.com. Anyway, thank you for watching this this episode of Biz Coach Reacts. I will get these outros right at some point, but in the meantime, please go and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm so we can get this information into more entrepreneurs' hands like you. If you have something to say to me, at Super Joe Pardo on all social media. If you want to learn how you can work with me on growing your business's profit, go over to superjoepardo.com. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.